As 2026 begins, BLACKPINK stands at a unique point in its journey, no longer just a global K-pop phenomenon, but a long-established cultural force that continues to redefine what it means to be an international girl group. The new year arrives not as a pause, but as a continuation of momentum built over nearly a decade of music, performances, fashion influence, and individual artistry. For Blinks around the world, 2026 feels less like a reset and more like the opening of a carefully prepared next chapter. BLACKPINK's strength has always been its balance: 4 distinct personalities, 4 artistic paths, moving together without losing individuality. Entering 2026, this balance has become even more refined. The group's legacy is no longer measured only by charts or records, but by consistency, longevity, and relevance in an industry known for rapid change. The evolution of BLACKPINK's global identity. From the debut years to the present, BLACKPINK has continuously expanded its global identity. By 2026, their presence is no longer limited to music stages. They exist simultaneously in pop culture, fashion capitals, digital platforms, and international media narratives. Their name carries meaning even to audiences unfamiliar with K-pop's structure, which is a rare achievement. What distinguishes BLACKPINK at this stage is how naturally the global image feels. Earlier years required explanation: K-pop girl group, YG Entertainment, Korean origins. Now, those labels are secondary. BLACKPINK is recognized as a world act, not defined by geography but by influence. This evolution did not happen suddenly. It was built through years of touring, multilingual engagement, strategic releases, and a consistent visual and sonic identity. In 2026, that groundwork allows the group to move with confidence, choosing projects with intention rather than urgency. Music in 2026: maturity without losing power. BLACKPINK's music has always been characterized by confidence, boldness, and clarity. In 2026, these traits remain, but they are layered with maturity. The themes explored feel broader and more reflective, shaped by experience rather than debut-era ambition. Rather than chasing trends, BLACKPINK now contributes to shaping them. Their sound blends strong rhythmic structures with refined production, leaving space for vocals, emotion, and storytelling. The balance between high-energy tracks and more restrained compositions feels deliberate, giving listeners variety without losing the group's signature identity. What makes their music in this era especially impactful is restraint. Not every release aims to dominate the charts instantly. Some songs exist to linger, to grow with listeners over time. This shift reflects confidence, knowing that impact does not always need immediacy. Solo growth strengthening the group. One of the defining elements of BLACKPINK's journey into 2026 is how individual growth has strengthened the group rather than diluted it. Each member has developed a clear solo identity, allowing the group dynamic to feel richer and more layered. Jennie's artistry continues to reflect bold self-expression and creative direction. Her work bridges music, fashion, and visual storytelling, making her presence feel intentional rather than constant. In the group context, this clarity enhances BLACKPINK's overall image, adding sharpness and modernity. Jisoo's evolution emphasizes depth and calm strength. Her artistic choices feel grounded, reflecting a focus on longevity rather than speed. Within BLACKPINK, this grounding influence adds emotional balance and stability, especially as the group navigates new creative directions. Rosé's musical path highlights vulnerability and emotional connection. Her voice remains one of the group's most defining elements, and in 2026, it carries even more weight through refined musical choices. This emotional resonance gives BLACKPINK's music its reflective side. Lisa's global influence continues to expand, blending performance, rhythm, and cultural reach. Her artistry speaks across language barriers, reinforcing BLACKPINK's international presence. In group performances, her energy anchors the visual and rhythmic core. Together, these solo paths do not compete. They interlock, creating a group dynamic that feels organic and resilient. Fashion and cultural influence in a new era. By 2026, BLACKPINK's relationship with fashion has evolved from endorsement to authorship. They are no longer simply faces of luxury brands but active participants in shaping trends and narratives. Their appearances feel curated rather than promotional, reflecting personal taste and long-term vision. This influence extends beyond clothing. Hairstyles, makeup aesthetics, stage styling, and even performance visuals often ripple outward into mainstream culture. What sets BLACKPINK apart is subtlety. Trends emerge without overstatement, carried by consistency rather than shock value. Culturally, BLACKPINK represents a model of global collaboration. They exist comfortably at the intersection of Korean identity and international culture, showing that authenticity does not require limitation. In 2026, this balance feels especially relevant in an increasingly interconnected world. Blinks, a community that grew with them. The relationship between BLACKPINK and Blinks has matured alongside the group. Early fandom energy was driven by discovery and rapid growth. Now, it is sustained by loyalty, shared history, and emotional connection. Blinks in 2026 are diverse in age, background, and experience. Some discovered BLACKPINK years ago, others more recently, but the bond feels collective. This fandom is not defined only by streaming or trends, but by long-term engagement, concert memories, eras remembered, and moments shared across time zones. What makes this connection enduring is mutual respect. BLACKPINK acknowledges their audience not through constant presence, but through sincerity. Blinks, in return, support the group's pace, understanding that longevity requires space and evolution. Performances that prioritize meaning. Live performances remain central to BLACKPINK's identity, but their nature has shifted. In 2026, performances feel less about proving dominance and more about connection. Setlists are curated to reflect the group's journey, blending iconic tracks with newer material that shows growth. Stage design emphasizes atmosphere rather than spectacle alone. Lighting, pacing, and transitions create a narrative flow, allowing audiences to experience the performance as a cohesive story. This approach deepens emotional impact, especially for longtime fans. Vocals and live presence are prioritized, reinforcing authenticity. Rather than relying on excess production, BLACKPINK allows space for imperfection, which paradoxically strengthens their connection with audiences. Digital presence and adaptation. BLACKPINK's digital presence in 2026 reflects understanding rather than saturation. They engage selectively, choosing moments that feel meaningful. This strategy maintains anticipation and avoids overexposure, a common challenge in modern entertainment. Content released online often feels personal without being invasive. Behind-the-scenes glimpses, creative processes, and reflective moments offer insight without dissolving boundaries. This balance keeps the group relatable while preserving mystique. In an era where attention is fragmented, BLACKPINK's digital strategy emphasizes quality over quantity. This approach aligns with their overall philosophy entering 2026, intentional, refined, and sustainable. Legacy in motion, not conclusion. As 2026 unfolds, discussions about BLACKPINK's legacy are no longer hypothetical. Their impact is measurable, their influence documented. Yet what makes this moment compelling is that the story is still unfolding. Rather than signaling closure, this phase suggests transformation. BLACKPINK is not rushing toward an ending, nor clinging to the past. They are redefining what continuation looks like for a group that has already achieved historic milestones. The journey offers a model for longevity in a fast-moving industry: evolve without erasing identity, grow without disconnecting from origins, and lead without excess. A quiet confidence for the year ahead. The start of 2026 carries a sense of calm confidence around BLACKPINK. There is no urgency to prove relevance, no need for constant validation. Their presence feels assured, supported by years of consistent artistry and global connection. For Blinks, this year represents trust. Trust in the group's vision, trust in their timing, and trust in the bond that has lasted through multiple eras. BLACKPINK enters the year not with loud declarations, but with steady momentum. As time continues, their story remains one of balance, individuality and unity, tradition and innovation, silence and impact. In 2026, BLACKPINK stands not at a peak, but on a wide horizon, with room to move forward on their own terms.